do you overcome fear of failure, or fear of success, or fear of fear itself? You step. And how do you face the fear of the unknown? You step. Don't wait anymore. Don't think anymore. Don't plan anymore. Don't contemplate anymore. Don't make any more excuses or justifications. Don't rationalize anything else. No, no, and no.
Let's go, let's go. Good morning, family.
Take action now. And what is the first action?
Awesome. Good morning, fam. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day. Super excited to be on here with the fam. Where are we at? This week is flying by already. It's already Wednesday, November 8th. JoJo in the building. It's good to see you. Let's go. Just wrapped up a phenomenal call with Neno, setting up the morning, setting up the day for absolute greatness. And this is a topic I'm really fired up about getting into, because this is something I know without a doubt every single one of us are going to be able to relate to. So, Lady Boss Nikki in the building. I love to see it. So today, fam, we're getting into 3 keys to freedom inside of the industry, inside all different areas of our life. And today is part number 2. So let's go ahead and get into it. Lady Boss Nikki, friend. Oh man, we are vibrating high today. I see the morning rituals. We got the trade sessions. We got the journaling, the gratitude, the reading. Talk about getting the day set up for success. So let me know, what is everybody grateful for coming into today? And let's go ahead and keep the ball rolling. So here we go. We get IG tapped in, and it's game time. 3 keys to freedom, part 2. Awesome. Love it. So as always, fans, so grateful for God, so thankful to be alive, so glad to see each and every single one of you running the play, putting in the time, putting in the effort. This is the season. So many are feeling the effects of fourth quarter, but this is where the champions are truly made. So I love to see it, fam. I'm so grateful for the information, for the value, for the access that we have day in and day out to continuously be able to learn, implement, and grow. And just like the call that we heard this morning, there is a reason for what is happening inside of this season. I truly believe that every one of us are getting set up for the highest version of ourselves. So let's get into it. Love it. So today, fam, we're going to be talking about 3 keys to freedom. But with that, I want to tie in a couple different pieces, okay? The first thing is going over what we actually just talked about on the call at 10 a.m., right? And for those of you that don't know Steve Jobs, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but Steve Jobs actually went through a lot of trials and tribulations before we actually ended up knowing the individual that we all know as Steve Jobs today, right? Steve Jobs went through a lot of heartbreak, a lot of situations in his life where he could have easily crumbled and not ended up getting to the place that he ended up going. So the lesson really became is this. Anybody that we ever see holding a trophy, like think about sports, right? I played football for almost my entire life. So somebody that plays throughout the whole season, they go to the playoffs, they win the championship, and they're finally holding the trophy. What's interesting is when we finally hold the trophy, it's not necessarily the trophy that we're so happy to finally be holding. It's the journey that we went through, that we grew through, that allowed us to become the person that we are standing, finally holding that piece. Yes, they might have got a pay raise. Yes, they might be making more money now, but it's the person that they were able to go ahead and become. The early nights, the early mornings, the late nights, the workouts where nobody saw what they were doing, practicing out in the sleet, the snow, the rain, doing what most people were not willing to do today to live a life like most can't tomorrow. So this is the visual coming in to really just put things into perspective. The journey, even for myself, I've gotten caught up along the way certain times, just focusing on the goal, just looking at the back office, just focusing on my bank account, and kept wondering, why am I not seeing a whole lot of things change? It's because I was so constricted on worrying about the output that I wasn't focused enough on really putting in the time with the input. And I was listening to Jim Rohn last night going to sleep, and one thing that Jim always talks about is the farmer analogy, right? Think about it. Think about if we have all of this land. Imagine if all of this land behind me was bare. There was nothing there. And we're expecting to have all of these fruits, all of these amazing trees to go ahead and sprout in the next 3 months to 6 months. But how can we expect them to sprout if we never took the time to go out and plant the seeds? Same thing goes with the journey. The farmer has to go out and plant the seeds in the hot sun. He has to go and rake it. He has to go and water it. He has to go and do all of this labor to eventually finally see it begin to manifest. And the same thing goes with all of our life. You see, the farmer never plants the seed and goes by a couple of days and then he finally sees it pop up. He has to be able to keep staying consistent, keep holding the faith, keep holding the belief to know that every day that he goes out and he waters them and he uses his hoe to go ahead and rake the soil, to go ahead and give it love, to give it nutrients, to allow it time to create photosynthesis, eventually the fruits start to pop up. And I've noticed this with every area of our lives, right? If we want to go ahead and build our body, we can go to the weight room for the next week straight. We're probably not going to be able to see the shifts yet. It takes time, right? With speaking, I was terrible at speaking before. I got to see in public speaking in college. At the beginning of my journey, I used to stutter all day long. It used to take me 30 minutes just to go ahead and make a video. And I was always wondering, how can I make it perfect? Do I have to go get another camera? Do I have to get a drone? Until I finally got fed up enough. And I said, you know what? Let me just take my phone. Let me lean it against a tree. Let me just make the video. Because it finally hit me that I'd rather have it done than waiting decades to come for it to go out and be perfect and never put out anything at all. Started the winter garden, giving nothing but facts. Everything takes time. Think about that, right? To plant the seeds in the winter, now we're going to be ready to go ahead and see them pop up in the spring. So this is huge. G in the building. What's going on? I love to see it. M, it's good to see you, Queen. What's happening? You're killing it. Doing great. Right? So now let's think about it, right? Now this is just the visuals for today. Here's the 3 keys to go ahead and put it into perspective. Okay. First things first, the first key in part 2 today is going to be this. Joey Wilson was talking about every single one of us, we're going to need persistence and determination for this journey, right? If we know that the journey is worth more than the destination, this is one big key that we're going to need to go ahead and have inside of our pocket. Persistence and determination. When I go back and look at my journey, I drove hours just to get to events. In fact, every Tuesday and Thursday, we were doing an event. And actually, the event was in Naples on the other side. And every Tuesday, Thursday, Chino and I would make the hour drive to go to Naples. Shane knows it. And then we'd have an event over there at Primo's, another solid 30-minute drive, but whatever it took, right? Kaz, some of you know Kaz, took a drive from here all the way out to Las Vegas. And he's from Michigan, went out to Michigan, came all the way back to Florida to come back for an event. Passion, determination, right? It's evidence that when you look at anybody's success, they had to invest a couple different things. They had to invest their time, they had to invest their energy, and they definitely had to invest their money. And just like the farmer, they have to spend money on the seeds, they have to spend money on the hoe to be able to rake the soil, and they definitely have to invest their time to go out and actually do the work. But here's the beautiful part about it. When we invest in ourselves, whether that's time, energy, and money, we heard it from the call this morning. God is always watching. Something that I didn't know for a long time, but God is absolutely always watching. And he sees the work that we're putting in. So even though this might be a season for the farmer where it might be a lot of rain, might be some snow, and it's hard for him to go ahead and plant the seeds and plant the crops, he still knows that if he's persistent, he has determination, he is bound to have something sprout into the spring. Same thing goes with every single one of us. As we go and we put in the daily rituals, the daily habits, it all adds up, right? In fact, let me go ahead and get this piece right here from Marcus Aurelius when he talks about persistence and determination dealing with habits, right? So watch this. Here's what he says. He talks about fueling the habit bonfire, right? He says every habit and capability is confirmed and grows in its corresponding actions. Walking by walking, running by running. Therefore, if you want to do something, make a habit of it. And if you don't want to do that, don't, but make a habit of something that is going to allow us to go ahead and grow every day. When you get angry, you've not only experienced that evil, but you've also reinforced a bad habit, adding fuel to that fire. So believe it or not, the emotions that we feel every day, that's a habit. That's a habit. If we're the type of person to wake up every day and think about the past, think about what's not going right, that is a habit that is leading towards pure destruction, towards pure evil. It says it right here. It's true. Because what we think about, we bring about, what we focus on grows. So here was the second paragraph that he led it with. How can we go ahead and really make the most of our habits? Here's what he said. We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, it's a habit, right? He talked about in here, the Stoics add to that we are a product of our thoughts, no matter who we are, right? Such as our habitual thoughts are the ones that we become a character in our mind. Think about our activities of the last week as well as what we have planned for today and the week that follows. The person that we like to be or the person that we see ourselves as, how closely do our actions actually correspond to him or her? Which fire are we fueling? Which person are we becoming? Woo! Love that. So every day, think about that. If we were to wake up, let's just visualize this for a second. What does the highest version of ourselves look like when we hit the gym today, when we eat well, when we're reaching out to 10 new people, when we're making new relationships, when we make that video, we make that podcast, we make that new connection, we do our night routine. What does that higher version look like going to sleep, planning that out all before it even happens? Thank God, right? That's the choice that we all have. We get to step into the higher version. We can go ahead and step into the lower version every day. It's a beautiful choice. And we get to decide which one are we fueling. So that's the first piece. Number two, second key to freedom. Joey Wilson talked about Chairman 100, $1 million Hall of Fame. Safe to say he's got some experience, right? Second piece he talked about is power of positive thinking. The power of positive thinking. I want to give you guys this example for number two, okay? I believe it's called the 51 Doors. You never heard of it? Go ahead and go on Google. I'm pretty sure that's the name, 51 Doors. But it talks about being able to keep the enthusiasm moving from one situation to the next. In fact, it's actually really funny. I had one of my old students. He was with me when I first got started, way back in 2017, when we first got the trade house, started the whole vision, really got things set in stone on paper. And at the time, he was 21 years old. He was going out all the time. He was doing a lot of different drugs, and he was lost. But I could see that he was hungry. I could see that he was ready to go ahead and grow. I could see that he was ready for change. And every day he would come over and I would give him all these recommendations. I would give him the books. I would give him the audios. I would give him little pieces of homework. And as time went by, he actually literally, I haven't talked to him in like 3 or 4 years, right? And he reached out to me yesterday. And he's like, D, it's been a while. I've been seeing your content and I wanted to let you know that you seriously changed my life. If it wasn't for you, I would not have become the person I am today. I'm like, what is going on? Let me just pause for a second. Let me see your Facebook and let me see how you've been. And I go on his Facebook and I see him in sales. I see he's at a car job. I see he's actually knocking door to door, doing solar. He's doing phenomenal. He's got appointments. He's got money coming in now. He's a completely different person. The individual that I knew before was very introverted. He was very shy. He was always complaining. He was always talking about what's going wrong inside of life. And as we got on the call, I'm like, yo, Thatcher, this is so amazing to see the man that you've been able to become and blossom into. And he's like, D, put me on a FaceTime. I want you to see my environment, right? He puts me on a FaceTime and he's got all of these amazing things around him. He's got books, he's got journals, he's got sticky notes all over his walls, on his mirrors. He's writing down his goals every day. And it just went to show me once again how powerful every single one of us truly are. And I told him, I was like, Thatcher, this growth is I got goosebumps thinking about it. This growth, this is the story that so many people are waiting to hear. This is what so many are waiting to see, to know that if it's possible for you, it's possible for me. I'm talking about down and out depressed. He used to cut his wrist. He was in a very dark spot when we initially met. And years later, I'm talking about he's polished up. He's wearing clean fits every day. He's studying, he's growing, he's asking questions, he's getting sales. Perfect example just to show the power of positive thinking. He says, D, every day I write down my affirmations. Every day I speak success into my life. Every day I speak wealth. I speak abundance. I speak blessings over my life. I pray now. I'm actually reading the word. And it was just another confirmation to just really show these are key success that anybody, I don't care where you come from, I don't care who you are, anybody can apply these principles, right? Sacrifice too. Absolutely. Facts, right? And here's the last but not least. The last key to freedom that Joey Wilson talks about right here was responsibility, right? With great power comes great responsibility, right? So as we level up, responsibility is going to be a part of the game, no matter where it is that we're at in life. Responsibility is something that when we change the way we see things, the way we see things change. And this is something that happened to me, right? For a long time, it seemed like, right, when I was graduating college and I had Murphy's Law happening to me, I was always complaining. I was always the person to go ahead and blame life, blame God, blame the news, blame the media, blame my negative members in my family, why nothing is working out in my favor. I was blaming everybody. I was mad at the world. I was mad at God. I was mad at the universe until it finally hit me. I can complain all day long. I can keep pointing the finger and blaming everything but myself. But my mentor finally broke it down to me. He said, D, I want you to look at this. I want you to go ahead and point at me right now. Just give me the point. Point at me right now. And he said, what do you see? I said, I don't know. I'm pointing at you. He said, let me ask you again. What do you see? So I don't know. He said, let me tell you what I see. He says, I see one finger pointing at everybody else, and I see all of these fingers pointing back at yourself. He says, you see, whenever we point at anything, we try to point the blame at everywhere else, but in reality, all the other fingers are pointing back at us. Exactly. We're not a victim. We are not a product of our environment. Our environment becomes a product of who we are. I didn't want to become a product of my environment. Living in my car, showering in LA Fitness, eating McDonald's hash browns every day for breakfast. That was my life. I don't want to live like that anymore. I got tired of blaming everybody. So I said, you know what? Let me take responsibility. Let me go ahead and take life into my own hands, and let me go ahead and take control. And that's literally what began to happen. I started reading. I started doing the work. I started doing what most people weren't doing behind the closed doors. And slowly but surely, time caught up, right? Time either exposes anybody or promotes them. And I promise you, I was so hungry. I was so sick and tired. I was so broke that I couldn't stand to be in the same situation I was at anymore. I needed change. I needed something different in my life. So I took responsibility. I wasn't a reader in school. I began reading books like nobody's business, right? Mark Zuckerberg found out most CEOs, they read 4 books a month. The average American reads less than one book a year. So I said, okay, if a billionaire like Mark Zuckerberg is reading that much, maybe I should be reading. And it went from every aspect, right? I learned that wealthy individuals, they read, they take notes. They're very great they're very well spoken. They've learned how to master social media. They've learned psychology. They've learned all these different skill sets. So I say, you know what? This is the path that I'm ready to go and take responsibility on, to go ahead and learn and grow and elevate and become the highest version of myself. Look at that. Getting there, accountability is everything. $2 in a month, starting 4 in 3.5 months. Congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back. That's huge. You've got to take that in. 97% of people right now, they're not growing every day. They're not reading. They're not journaling. They're not around a like-minded, hungry, happy community that's ready to go ahead and push each other. And this is something I was looking for a long, long time, because I know raising tides truly does raise all ships. So fam, this is it. This is 3 major keys to freedom to really go out and maximize what's left for 2023 and have a phenomenal 2024 full of everything that we dream of, right? Getting that dream body, creating finance that when we check our bank account, we're like, whoo, I'm liking what I see. Families feeling great. Families vibrating high. We have a great connection with our creator, God, the universe, whoever that may be for you. This is my goal for every single one of us to go ahead and truly develop each and every single area of these pillars so we can live a full maxed out life, just like Ed Mylett talks about, living a maxed out life. I want to see what life has to offer. Here's my last visual as we wrap up today's call. And Ed Mylett, this is just downloaded to me, right? But he talks about it all the time. This is something I think about. He says, when I pass, I envision myself meeting the highest version. And he said, the worst fear that I have is to be able to go ahead and finally meet the highest. I got goosebumps thinking about this one, right? When I meet the highest version of myself and look him eye to eye, I look her eye to eye, that they are a completely different person than what I came in as, right? Imagine that. Imagine that we get to heaven and we see the highest version and we see the dream body. We see the confidence. We see the posture. We see how they dress. We see their love. We see their smile. We see their gratitude. And we come up there and we're slouched, we're depressed, scratching our head like, man, how did I end up here? How did my life get like this? No. Just like Boss Lee is a perfect example. She's going to go ahead and meet her twin. And if anything, she's going to make her twin look a little afraid. Like, wow, this is what was really possible. You guys know Boss Lee came from a background. She never made more than $12 an hour. She never made serious money ever. But she was able to go ahead and believe, have persistence, have passion, determination, and really create outstanding habits for herself. And she maxed out her life. Age is just a number. What she did in the dash that she was here for, she lived 100 humans' lives, 1,000 humans' lives in one lifetime. Another Matt Rosa, incredible story. Go ahead and look her up today. If you want some homework today, go ahead and look up I Am Boss Lee. Go look at her confidence. Go look at the way she speaks, and then go on YouTube. And then go scroll down years ago, and you're going to see she didn't look anything like that. She changed her body. She changed her image. She literally shed skin into a completely different person. I believe every single one of us are just like that. I believe we all have this skin on right now, and underneath that is a whole new version that we've never even seen yet. We didn't even know it was there. But I promise you, I know for a fact it's inside for each and every single one of us. And that's the goal, to be able to chip away the fat so we can see the gold that's waiting to go ahead and shine. So Dream Team, I love you, fam. I have so much gratitude for each and every single one of you, because I know we've only scratched the surface of what is to come. So if nobody told you today, let me be the first to tell you, I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. And I know your greatness is here. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of ignitement to go ahead and start that fire. Today could be that day to go ahead and make the most. So Dream Team, drop some threes if you guys got some value for today. Smash that like button if you guys are ready to step into the highest version of ourselves. Enjoy the journey and not just keep looking to hold the trophy for the destination, because guess what? The moment that we get the trophy gets old eventually. It collects dust. It sits on the shelf. And you know what? We're going to be looking to go grab the next trophy. And we're always going to be looking to grab the next, and we're never going to be fulfilled. Real fulfillment comes in the journey, comes with the growth, comes with the elevation each and every single day. So I love you, fam. Remember, we can be, do, and have anything we can hold in our mind. We can hold it right here